children or grandchildren in the RE program know that the theme for the month has been discernment. Because with the children, we are often very direct about saying, this is the theme for the month. The theme is discernment. It's a big word. What do you think it means? Now, I tend to be a little less direct with you all in discussing the theme of the month. So we have come at discernment a few different ways already. We have talked about discerning what gifts we each have to bring. We have talked about being discerning in understanding what justice looks like in the world, what power looks like, and humility. But today we are simply talking about discernment. And discernment is different than decision making. We make a lot of decisions in daily life. Maybe you have had the same experience I have had of walking up and down the bread aisle at the supermarket, overwhelmed by the number of kinds of bread and how long the aisle is, and muttering, I just want a loaf of regular bread. There's too many kinds. We make so many choices, what to wear, how to drive to try to avoid the heavy traffic. And in fact, we have to make so many decisions that many people suffer from what is called decision fatigue, which means that when you get up early in the morning, it's pretty easy to choose what you want for breakfast. And by the time you get to dinner at the end of the day, you're like, I don't know. Can I just eat oatmeal again? I don't know, I'm worn out. I can't make choices anymore. So those are decisions. And when we are talking about discernment, we're talking about a different kind of choosing. We're talking about one that requires space and time and silence, like what we found in the Wonder Box this morning. Now, I have to confess that every time I say something requires space and time, it's funny to me for an obscure reason, which I will share with you and perhaps will be funny to you as well, which is that at the college where I did my undergraduate degree, there was a statue, this was in Washington State, there was a statue of a man who had come west as a missionary, and the text below him said, my plans require time and distance. And I always thought that was kind of a funny thing to write on a statue. So now as I say discernment requires space and time, I simply want you to know that I'm smiling a little bit because I'm picturing this statue of Marcus Whitman and thinking what a funny thing that is to write on a statue. And wondering if perhaps the statue maker might have benefited from a little more discernment and a little less decision making. Because sometimes when we are pushed to make a decision, we just choose the first thing that feels okay, just so it's chosen and it's over with. But the biggest things in our lives require discernment. So if you have come to a place where you had to choose, were you going to make that move? Were you going to leave that job? Were you going to marry that person? You have engaged in discernment. And perhaps you've used some of the tactics that people have used for a long time to discern. Perhaps you meditated on what was the right thing to do. Perhaps you asked to talk it over with someone you trust. Maybe you simply decided, I'm going to settle in as though I have decided, yes, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to live with that feeling for a few days. And then I'm going to spend a few days living with the feeling, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to see which feeling sits right with me. There are many ways to discern. And at its very best, discernment involves a little bit of playfulness, like a monk studying his books and a cat hunting for a mouse. Now, I want to be clear that by playfulness, I don't mean necessarily taking things lightly. I mean a type of openness and a type of willingness to be surprised and to explore. A philosopher named James Carse has written a book in which he says there are at least two kinds of games that we can play. One could be called finite, and the other could be called infinite. So finite meaning bounded and limited, and infinite meaning going on forever. Karst says a finite game is played for the purpose of winning. An infinite game is played for the purpose of continuing the play. Perhaps you've seen children running around playing chase games. Not tag, just chase games. There are no winners and losers. It's simply enjoyable to run around together. So Karst says that while a finite game requires that someone win and someone lose, because that is how you know that the game has ended. There has been a winner and loser. An infinite game does not require any winning or losing. A finite game has rules which must remain the same throughout the entire course of the game. Otherwise it wouldn't be fair. An infinite game has rules which change as we take on new ideas and explore new possibilities. So I learned about this theory from my theology professor at Meadville Lombard Theological School, Dr. Michael Ho, who says that theology is an infinite game. Now, theology is often understood as the study of God, but for Unitarian Universalists, we can look at it as the study of the way that we make meaning out of our lives. And the way that we understand our lives in any given moment changes as we continue to live, as we have new experiences or we have conversations with each other. And when we are able to engage this as a kind of infinite game with this spirit of playfulness, this openness to new rules, no winners, no losers, just something that we are undertaking together. We open ourselves to more wisdom. We engage in discernment. I'm sure you can think of people who seem to play theology as a finite game. There are folks for whom there are right answers, and the goal is to make everyone believe those right answers. But for us, I think it is an infinite game. Because one Unitarian Universalist, over the course of their life, may make meaning of their life in many different ways, informed by many different traditions. We can be like the monk who values the pursuit of knowledge more than any fame, like the cat at the mouse hole, like our children with their ears to an empty box. Be curious, see what is there. So playfulness in this case is different than playing at. When we say we are playing at something, we mean we are not taking it seriously. We can, in fact, be playful about very serious things. In some ways, we can bring this playfulness even to the things that are hardest in our lives, because it's really a way of describing our openness. So in thinking about the tragedies in New Zealand and what discernment and playfulness might have to say about the difficulty of being human and being alive in these times, I turned to the words of the Reverend Jonathan Kwong, who has written, "They say faith without works is dead. So I worked for equality next to my queer friends who wanted to get married, and I worked for religious freedom next to my Muslim friends who were accused of being terrorists, and I worked for racial justice next to my black friends whose lives were affected by police brutality. Yet I didn't feel fully alive, even after working myself to death, until I let my work become a spiritual practice, until I let go of my attachment to the outcome, until I stopped chasing after political issues, one after another. I still believe faith without works is dead, but works without faith is just as lifeless. So the problems of the world are serious and real, and our attempts to address them often feel like finite games. There are wins and there are losses. There are days when we can say, yes, we have made a difference, or no, that did not go the way that we wished it to. But what Jennifer's words remind me of is that we have to have an openness to surprise and an attachment to the bigger picture, and even a joy in the simple act of trying to do what we are called to do, and a willingness to let things stay open, to simply not know for a little while longer, so that we can discern. May this be a practice that each of us tries on, a little playfully, and with open hearts. May it be